In the cold dark of space, near the edge of the solar system, something moved, something big dot. It was not a comet, it was not an asteroid, it was a fleet. Over 500 alien warships floated silently in the black sky, hidden behind Neptune's orbit. Their design was sharp, spiked, and glowing with red lights. This was not a peaceful visit. It was an invasion. The alien race was called the Varnak. For hundreds of years, they had moved from system to system, destroying any species that resisted. They believed they were the strongest in the galaxy. Another easy kill. The Varnak commander, Zerthal, stood in the bridge of his massive dreadnought, watching Earth's sun through a dark viewing screen. "Humans have grown soft," he said. "Too much peace, too much talking. They won't fight back." Another officer laughed. "They sent a message years ago, some warning. Do not return." Zerthal narrowed his eyes. "We returned. What will they do now?" On Earth, deep inside a mountain bunker, alarms were already ringing. Commander Voss, leader of Earth's Defense Command, looked at the screen. Red dots filled the holographic map. "Varnak fleet detected," said the AI voice. "Invasion probable." Voss didn't panic. He simply pressed one button across Earth in every language. A single message was sent. It was not long. It was not polite. You were warned. Attack again, and you will be erased. No mercy. No survivors. The message reached the Varnak fleet in seconds. Zerthal listened to it, then laughed. They dare to threaten us. With what? Their tiny ships. Their weak lasers. He looked at his officers. "Prepare the strike. We will make them scream." But not everyone on the bridge looked so sure. On Earth, silence returned after the warning was sent. People in cities stared at their news screens. Soldiers stood ready. Satellites watched the skies, but there were no signs of panic because Earth had changed. For years, they had prepared for this moment. Secretly, quietly. Far from alien eyes, underground factories built weapons the galaxy had never seen. Orbiting stations held drones that could move faster than light. Deep under the oceans, something even greater was waiting. Humanity had learned from war. They had lost before, but not again. This time, Earth would not beg meanwhile in the far cold of space. The Varnak made their move. 10 scout ships flew ahead, crossing Pluto's orbit. They expected no resistance. But when they passed Mars, they disappeared. No explosion, no signal, just silence. "Scout units are gone," said a Varnak tech. "No trace," Zerthal growled. "Send more." 20 ships this time. They sent them. 20 more vanished. Panic began to spread on the bridge. Back on Earth, Commander Voss stood with his team inside Black Station 1, floating above the planet like a shadow. An officer turned to him. "Sir, the scouts are down. They never saw us." Voss nodded. "Good, keep Blackout active. No emissions, no lights. We strike only if they reach the line." The line was Earth's final border, a warning line set at Jupiter's orbit. If any alien crossed it, it meant war. So far, the Varnak were close, maybe beyond what we understand. Zerthal slammed his fist on the control panel. "Nonsense. Earth is weak. They cannot match us." Still, he hesitated. For the first time in many years, he felt fear. He opened a channel. "Earth Command. This is Commander Zerthal. We request communication." There was no reply. He tried again. Still silence then. A signal appeared. Not a voice. A visual, a single line, written in bold red letters. "Cross Jupiter, and you will be erased." Commander Voss stood silently in his command room. He looked at the screen, watching the Varnak fleet hesitate. "They have one choice," he said. "Go back or vanish." One young officer spoke. "Sir, what if they cross the line?" Voss looked straight at him. "Then we show them what Earth really is." Outside the station window, deep in the black of space, something began to move. It looked like a shadow. But at WASN single quotes, it was Earth's secret weapon. A warship larger than any moon. Its name was Oblivion. And it was waking up. The Varnak fleet had stopped near Jupiter. They were afraid. 500 alien warships floated silently in space, unsure what to do. Their scouts had vanished. Their warning was ignored, and now they faced something they did not understand. On one side was the planet Jupiter. On the other was Earth. Between them was the invisible line. Earth had drawn the final warning. Cross it and face erasure. But hidden in the dark, watching from every corner, were the humans. They were called the Silent Watchers. Commander Voss stood inside the Earth Defense Command Station. His eyes were calm, but his mind was focused. Behind him, a wall of screens showed the positions of all human forces satellites, drones, warships, Black Ops units. Status, he asked. Oblivion, 1 is active. Stealth systems online. All drones are in hunting positions, said Officer Reyna. What are the Varnak doing? They're waiting, sir. Scanning. They think they're alone out there. Commander Voss gave a small smile. They're not. High above the solar system, cloaked ships moved like ghosts. These were not normal human ships. They had no heat, no signals. Captain Juno Cross watched the enemy fleet. We're close enough to touch them, her pilot whispered. But they can't see us, Juno replied. She turned to her team of 5 soldiers. They were Earth's elite trained in silence, war, and survival. Get ready, she said. The commander will give the signal. And when he does, we strike first. No movement. It's like they're invisible. Weak creatures always hide, but his voice didn't sound strong anymore. He looked at the Earth signal again. Cross Jupiter, and you will be erased. What if they can erase us? One of his lieutenants asked. No one moved, but everyone was thinking the same thing. What if Earth was telling the truth? Deep beneath Earth's oceans, a massive machine waited. It was Leviathan Station, a base built in secret, powered by geothermal energy and dark matter. Inside, scientists and generals worked together. They had prepared for this day. A scientist named Dr. Rima Tran looked at the activation screen. All systems ready. Shall we begin the countdown? She asked. General Merrick nodded. Begin countdown. If they cross the line, Leviathan will launch the Voidnet. The Voidnet was not a weapon of war. It was a weapon of extinction at the edge of the solar system. Near Saturn, another figure watched. He was not in uniform, not in a base. He was sitting inside a small black pod, floating alone in space. Just eyes and a brain. And he had seen what the Varnak had done to other planets. They always come with fire, he whispered. But they don't know what waits in our shadows. He sent a signal, short, silent, encrypted. Enemy shows hesitation. Begins psychological phase. Back on the Varnak flagship, the lights began to flicker. What's happening? Zerthal shouted. Unknown interference, shouted the engineer. Our systems are under attack. Then the screens changed. It wasn't sound, it was a video. It showed the destruction of their scout ships, clean, silent, fast. It showed Earth warships appearing out of nowhere. It showed the faces of human commanders, not angry, but calm. The message was clear. We warned you. Others wanted to attack, but Zerthal was frozen. They're inside our systems, he whispered. They know everything. His pride was fading, and fear was taking over. But still, he made one more decision. He raised his hand. Move forward, he ordered slowly. Toward Jupiter. Commander Voss saw the move immediately. They're testing us, Reyna said. They think we're bluffing. Then let's show them we're not, Voss replied. He pressed a button, and in the dark of space, 10 human warships uncloaked right behind the alien fleet. Not one of them had been seen. Not one of them made a sound. How did they? Panic spread like fire. Captain Juno's team had landed silently on one of the Varnak ships. They had already taken control of the engine core. No one knew they were there. We wait for the order, she whispered. Her hand hovered over the trigger. On Earth, Commander Voss looked at the red line on the screen. The Varnak were just 1 kilometer from the warning border. Then they stopped. Silence, tension, stillness. Commander Voss waited. Then the alien ships slowly turned around. They were leaving. They blinked, said Reyna. Surprised. Voss nodded. Smart choice. But in his mind, he knew. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The Varnak fleet had turned back. They stopped just before Jupiter's orbit, the line Earth had clearly marked. Their warships, still glowing red, slowly drifted away from the danger zone. On the outside, it looked like a retreat. But inside, the Varnak command ship, it was something else. Commander Zerthal was furious. We stepped back to fool them, he said. Let the humans think we fear them. Let them lower their guard. His second-in-command, General Cranox, looked unsure. Sir, what if they're truly stronger than we expected? Zerthel's eyes burned. No, they used tricks, disappearing ships, shadow tech. But tricks cannot stop us. We strike now with everything. He slammed his hand on the command table. Prepare the full fleet. Aim at Earth. When I give the word, we attack. Far away on Earth, in the command room of Black Station 1, Commander Voss was watching the alien fleet closely. They turned around, said Officer Reyna. We scared them. Voss didn't smile. His eyes were sharp. No, they're planning something. He knew the Varnock. He had studied every war they had started in the galaxy. And there was one thing always the same. They never gave up after one warning. They'll strike again, he said. And this time, we strike back. 3 hours later, it happened. Without warning, over 50 Varnock warships jumped from Deep Space Strait into Earth's orbit. They bypassed the outer planets, bypassed every sensor net. They came fast, they came burning. They thought Earth was too slow to react. They were wrong. The first blast came from the sky, not from Earth, but from above it, high above Earth. Floating silently was Oblivion, when the black warship, the Varnock, never saw. It didn't fire lasers, it didn't launch missiles. It used something new, void pulse. The first pulse hit a Varnock destroyer. In 1 second, it was gone, not exploded, not burning. Just gone. Erased. Inside the Varnock fleet, panic broke out. Ship C-19 destroyed. No debris, no trace. What kind of weapon was that? General Cranox screamed. They have technology we cannot understand. We must fall back. But Zerthal was blind with rage. No retreat, fire on Earth's cities, burn their skies. The Varnock fired all weapons. Thousands of plasma missiles rained toward Earth. But none reached the surface, above Earth. Hidden satellites activated their shields. They bent light, heat, and energy. The missiles were destroyed in space. Earth's defense system, called Aegis Net, was fully online. And now it was Earth's turn to attack. From behind the moon, 10 Earth warships appeared. Each ship looked small, but they were not ordinary. They were specters, made of dark alloy, powered by gravity cores. Each one targeted a Varnock ship and fired just one shot. But that one shot tore through shields, armor, and core. Within minutes, 12 alien ships were gone. The Varnock fleet was breaking apart in the middle of the chaos. Earth's Special Ops team, led by Captain Juno Cross, boarded a Varnock carrier. She and her team moved fast through the hallways, using silent weapons. No survivors, she said. This is not a message. This is justice. Within 7 minutes, the entire alien crew was eliminated. Juno sent one message back to Earth. Carrier secured. Uploading tech data. The enemy is bleeding. Back at Black Station 1, Voss was watching it all. His face remained calm, but his words were cold. Now they know. Officer Reyna asked, should we finish them? Voss looked at the screen. The remaining Varnock ships were running to escape Earth's orbit. Not yet, he said. Let them carry the message home. Inside the Varnock command ship, smoke filled the bridge. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Commander Zerthos' eyes were wide. His pride was gone. His voice was shaky. Retreat. Retreat. Now. Jump to warp. The few surviving ships vanished into space. But they didn't know one thing. They were being followed above Earth. In the black of space, the giant warship Oblivion 1 shifted its direction. Its engines lit up silent but deadly. It followed. The enemy quietly, like a hunter, tracking wounded prey, and far behind it. More ships followed. The humans were not done. Commander Voss stood silently at the command deck. He spoke softly, but the room went quiet. They were warned. They chose war. Now they will see what it means to awaken Earth. The Varnock fleet was broken. What began as a confident attack ended in fire, silence, and fear. Half of their ships were destroyed. The rest were running fastback into deep space. But even as they fled, they knew something had changed. Earth was not weak. Earth was not simple. Earth was hiding something deep inside the Earth, far beneath the Arctic ice. A facility hummed quietly. It was called Project Hollow. No one on the surface knew it existed. Only a few top commanders, scientists, and engineers were allowed inside. In the center of the base was a black sphere. Spinning slowly, suspended in the air, it wasn't human. It was a fragment of a collapsed star micro-black hole, tiny but powerful enough to power cities, or erase them. Dr. Rima Tran, the lead scientist, stood beside it. "We stabilized the core," she said into her communicator. "If Command approves, we can begin Phase 3. Her message was short, but the meaning was large. Phase 3 was Earth's final weapon, and now it was ready. Far away in deep space, the remaining Varnak ships limped back to their homeworld. Zerthal was silent, his face pale and beaten. Their losses were heavy: ships destroyed, officers gone, technology lost. He watched the report on a cracked screen. Every red mark was a ship that no longer existed. "We underestimated them," said General Cranox. "We thought they were farmers, dreamers, but they are something else." Zerthal's claws tightened around his chair. "They used weapons." "We don't understand," he muttered. "They moved faster than light. They erased ships without a sound." He looked up at his officers. "We must rebuild. We must strike again. But this time, we strike with all." "Back on Earth, Commander." Voss had already guessed what the Varnak would do. "They lost," he said. "But they won't stop. Pride won't let them." He stood before a room of generals, scientists, and AI commanders. Behind him, a large screen showed a glowing Earth, surrounded by hidden fleets and weapon grids. "We've shown them our claws," Voss said. "Now we show them our fangs." He gave the signal. Across the solar system, hidden Earth facilities activated. One by one, they lit up. Titan Station orbiting Jupiter. Invisible until now, Sentinel grid laser defense satellites hidden in asteroid belts. Nova Volta bunker inside. The sun's magnetic field, storing energy never used before. These were not defense systems. They were weapons of planetary scale. Meanwhile, Earth's engineers activated the Void Lance for the first time. The Void Lance was not a missile, not a cannon. It bent reality itself, using the black hole core to send concentrated waves of gravity. It could crush a starship from the inside out without ever being seen. It was silent, it was fast, and it was now armed in a private chamber. Aboard Oblivion, one Captain Juno Cross met with Voss through a secure link. "The tech we stole from the Varnak carrier is decrypted," she said. "They're planning a second attack. Bigger, faster, with allies." "Allies?" Voss asked. Juno nodded. "Two other species, mercenaries, paid with stolen tech." Voss took a deep breath. "So now, it's not just the Varnak, it's a war." He turned to the shadows where AI units stood still, listening. "Prepare the Ghost Fleet," he said. "Deploy them near the border. No mercy, no noise." The Ghost Fleet was Earth's most dangerous force. Unmanned, unseen, unstoppable, while Earth's defenses activated. The galaxy listened in fear. Rumors spread fast, whispers in trading ports, messages on secret frequencies. Earth destroyed a fleet with 10 ships. No, they used one ship. "I heard their weapon deletes time itself. They don't leave survivors." Fear traveled faster than light, and fear was powerful. On the Varnak homeworld, plans were being drawn, weapons were being made, allies were gathering, but doubt had started to grow in the hearts of the Varnak people. An old priest spoke in the halls. "Of war? We were warned," he said, "and we did not listen. The humans are not like the others. They were forged in fire, and now they carry it." But no one listened. Pride was louder than fear. Back on Earth, Commander Voss stood before the massive screen once more. The stars lit up. Dots. Moved battle lines were forming in the darkness, and Earth was ready. "They wanted to see what we were hiding," he said. "They're about to find out." 3 weeks later, the stars changed. New ships appeared near the edge of the solar system. But they were not just Varnak this time. 2 other alien species joined them, the Korak mercenaries and the Drexel swarm. Both were known for war, destruction, and fear. Together, they formed a massive fleet, over 1,000 ships, and they were all heading for Earth. Inside the command ship of the Varnak fleet, Commander Zerthal watched the screens. This time, he said, "We do not test Earth, we crush it." General Kranich stood beside him. We attack all at once. No more warnings. No more fear. Zerthal nodded. The humans will drown in fire. They believed numbers would win, but they were wrong. On Earth, the alarms returned, but this time, no one panicked. Commander Voss stood before his war council. He looked at the map of space reed lights moving toward Earth like a storm. They think numbers matter, he said quietly, but they forget we don't fight like them. Then, turn to the AI war network. Activate all fleets. Full launch clearance. No defense this time. This time, we hunt. From the moon's dark side, hundreds of stealth ships began to rise. From Earth's oceans, heavy cruisers launched like silent whales. From asteroid fields, the Ghost Fleet awoke drone warships with no crew, no fear, no limits, and leading them was Oblivion 1. Far in space, as the alien fleet moved through Saturn's orbit, something strange happened. Suddenly, dozens of Varnock ships exploded without warning. No signal, no fire, just silence. And then nothing. What happened? A Korak captain shouted. "We're under attack," screamed a Drexel commander. But they couldn't see the enemy, because the enemy was everywhere. The void. Net activated Earth's hidden system of space. Traps. Gravity mines. Disruption fields, EMP storms, thousands of enemy ships began to lose control. Their engines shut down, their weapons froze. Some vanished completely, pulled into black hole traps left by Earth. It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. Inside, one alien carrier, a Korak warrior, screamed, "We were tricked. This is no normal war." "We were warned," another shouted. "We should have listened." But it was too late. Commander Voss watched the chaos from Black Station 1. Officer Reyna turned to him. "We're getting surrender signals." "Except none," Voss replied coldly. "They had their chance. Now we finish it." Earth's fleets moved like blades, fast, silent, precise. Ships were destroyed in waves. No time for defense, no time for retreat. One by one, the Varnock allies broke formation and tried to escape, but they were already trapped in the middle of the battle. Captain Juno Cross and her team boarded the main Drexel command ship. The Drexel were insect-like, tall and aggressive, but Juno's team moved like shadows. Room by room, they cleared the ship. Juno stood before the Drexel Queen and said, "One sentence, this is your punishment for trusting the Varnock." Then silence. Within hours, the once great alien fleet was broken. Only a few dozen ships remained, and they were running. Oblivion 1 followed them, relentless. Its dark energy core charged again. It didn't fire lasers, it simply opened space hand, erased everything in its path. Back on the Varnock command ship, panic spread. Zerthal stared at the screen. His entire fleet was gone. His allies were dead or fleeing. Earth had done what no one believed possible. They had broken 3 spacefaring races in a single strike. "Retreat," he shouted. "Get us out of here." But even as he spoke, the screen went black. A message appeared. A human face. It was Commander Voss. His voice was calm. His tone was final. "We warned you. You chose war. Now you are nothing." Then the screen vanished, and Oblivion 1 fired one last pulse. The Varnock command ship disappeared just like the rest, gone forever, back on Earth. The battle ended. There was no cheering, no celebration, only silence. Commander Voss stood alone, looking at the stars. "We didn't win a war," he said softly. "We ended it." The galaxy had gone quiet. The great battle was over. 3 alien fleets destroyed. The Varnagon there, allies broken Earth, stood alone. Earth, strong. Feared, but while the stars were calm, something darker was happening on Earth. A secret was hiding. In the shadows, a betrayal in the heart of Earth Defense Command. Commander Voss sat in a dark room. Only one screen was active. On it was a Symbolon old Earth transmission, heavily encrypted. "Play it again," Voss ordered. The AI voice obeyed. A voice played. It was human to the Varnock fleet. "This is Echo 1. Earth's weapons are ready but still untested. I can share coordinates. I want peace." Voss's jaw tightened. That message was sent before the second attack. Earth had been betrayed. Someone had warned the enemy. Someone had shared Earth's secrets. Because of that message, the Varnock had attacked the moon base. Because of that message, millions had died. The investigation began immediately. The best minds of Earth, both human and machine, started hunting the traitor. The codename used in the message, Echo-1, it was a ghost dot, no file, no image, no name. But one clue was clear. The message was sent from inside. Black Station 1, from Earth's most secure warbase. Inside the station, Captain Juno Cross was called in. "You want me to find them?" she asked Commander Voss. "Yes," he said quietly. "No arrests, no noise. You find them and end it." Juno nodded. She and her team went dark. For the next 5 days, nothing was said publicly, but behind the scenes, data was sliced, cameras reviewed, access logs cracked. Then, a lead someone had bypassed security during the first Varnock retreat. Someone had used an old code, one only the top command had access to. That someone was General Marek, head of Leviathan. Station Voss didn't want to believe it. Marek had fought in every Earth war. He was a hero. But the data was clear. He had opened the gate. He had made the call. Captain Juno and her team reached Leviathan Station. They moved through the steel halls like ghosts. They found Marek in the command room at a photo of Earth from the deep ocean window. Juno asked. Marek didn't reach for a weapon. He just sighed. "I was tired of war," he whispered. "I thought maybe they knew we were ready, they would back down." "I never meant for the moon to fall, but it did," Juno replied coldly. "You broke the chain of trust." Marek nodded. "I deserve punishment." But before Juno could speak, Marek pressed a button on his wrist. A loud beep echoed through the room. He had triggered the Leviathan core. Back on Earth, alarms exploded in Black Station 1. Core overload detected in Leviathan Station. Shouted, "Officer Reyna, evacuate the base," Voss ordered. "Shut down the core." But it was too late. Leviathan was glowing deep under the ocean. The water began to boil. If the core exploded, it would wipe out the entire Pacific zone. Inside the station, Juno acted fast. She grabbed Marek's device and connected it to her AI link. Override sequence initiated. The AI whispered, "You'll never make it in time," Marek said. "Watch me," Juno growled. Her fingers moved quickly. Lines of code raced across her eyes. Countdown, 20 seconds, then 15, then 10. Finally, override complete, the core cooled, the danger ended. Marek stood in silence. "You saved them." He saved. "I saved what you nearly destroyed," Juno replied. "You're not the only one who wants peace, but we don't get it by handing over our future." She turned away later, in a private chamber. Commander Voss watched Marek's file being erased. No trial, no record, just silence. "The galaxy watches us now," Voss said. "We must show strength, even when it hurts." Outside Earth's orbit, the stars were calm. But Earth had learned a lesson. Sometimes the biggest danger doesn't come from the sky, it comes from within. After the betrayal, Earth changed. No more chances, no more warnings. Commander Voss gave one final order. No threats remain. We erase everything that could return. Across the galaxy, Earth's deadliest plan was now in motion. It was called Project Oblivion, not just a weapon, a full operation to remove every enemy base, ship, and fleet dash forever. Far above Earth, the warship Oblivion 1 stood ready. Inside its dark control center, the AI voice spoke calmly. Target list uploaded. Varnock colonies, Korak shipyards, Drexel breeding worlds. Captain Juno Cross stood before the screen. "How many targets?" she asked. 72 confirmed enemy sites, the AI replied. Juno nodded. "No survivors. This is not revenge. This is peace." The first strike was silent. Near a red star, a hidden Varnock outpost powered up its shields. They thought Earth was far away. Then space bent. A black wave passed through them. They were gone. Not destroyed. Erased. No sound, no debris. Just nothing. Across nearby galaxies, more Earth ships arrived. Each one cloaked. Each one armed with void lances and black hole seeds. These weren't battles anymore. Earth didn't come to fight. Earth came to delete. On a Korak war moon, the leaders met in panic. "They're coming for us," one growled. They don't talk, they don't answer, they just appear and we vanish. A younger officer screamed, "We must surrender." "No," the Korak warlord roared. "We hide deeper. We build more shields." But it didn't matter. Earth found them. Oblivion 1 arrived at the edge of their System 1 command. One pulse. The war moon cracked and Halfand fell into its own gravity. It folded into itself, erased from maps, erased from time, back in Earth's. Black Station 1, Commander Voss watched the screen. Dots vanished one by one. Each dot had once meant a world, a base, a fleet now. "Nothing. Report," he said. RAYNA responded calmly. "Phase 3 is complete. Enemies are at 10% capacity. No retaliation detected." Voss didn't smile. "Begin Phase 4. Phase 4 was the final move, not just to kill enemies, but to prevent them from ever returning. Earth deployed time shields devices that locked systems in stasis, freezing development. In 2 Drexel hives. The entire species was put into forced sleep. No war, no growth, no future, just silence. Earth sent one last message to the galaxy. It was broadcast across open channels, translated into every known language. "This is Earth. We warned you. You attacked us. We ended your war. Let this be your history. Choose peace or be forgotten." In deep space, some listened, some feared, some hated, but no one acted because everyone now knew. Earth didn't bluff. Earth didn't forgive. Earth erased, back on Earth. The skies were calm. The oceans were quiet, for the first time in human history. There was no known threat in the galaxy. Commander Voss stood alone, watching the stars. Officer Reyna stepped beside him. "It's over," she said. "No," he replied. "It's begun." She looked at him, confused. "We've erased the enemy," Voss said. "Now we must make sure we don't become the next one, because great power brings great danger even to those who use it." The war was over. The Varnock, gone. The Drexel, silenced. The Court, erased. No one in the galaxy dared to speak Earth's name aloud. The stars were quiet now, but peace felt. Strange Talk Commander Voss stood inside Black Station 1, staring at the galaxy map. Every threat was gone. Every enemy stronghold was destroyed. His officers no longer gave daily reports of danger. They gave only silence. He turned to Officer Reyna. "Is this what victory feels like?" he asked. Reyna didn't answer, because no one really knew. High above the Earth, Oblivion 1 floated silently. Its weapons were off. Its crew had no battles left to fight. Captain Juno Cross stood on the viewing deck, watching Earth spin slowly. Beneath them, she spoke to her second-in-command. "We were built for war," she said. "But what do we do when there's no war left?" The officer shrugged. "Wait for the next one." Juno shook her head. "No, we can't be what the galaxy feared. We must become what it needs." Back on Earth, scientists began asking hard questions. What happens when no one can challenge you? What happens when fear becomes your only language? And slowly, the fear turned inward. Across the galaxy, the silence grew. No signals, no visitors, no trade. Civilizations had gone quiet, not because they were dead, but because they were scared of Earth. They saw Earth not as a planet, but as a god of war and gods, are worshipped or avoided. Never trusted, Commander Voss sat alone in his chamber. He listened to old recordings, the voices of Earth's past leaders. He remembered a time when humans looked to the stars with hope. Now they looked with suspicion. One day, a signal came through. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a call for help. It was just a voice, quiet, alien, Earth. "We remember your warning. We never attacked you. We never raised a weapon. But please, don't erase us. We only wish to live." Voss sat still for a long time. Then he replied, "We only erased those who forced us. We wish to rebuild something better. Let us talk." It was the first message of peace in years, and slowly, others came, cautious, careful, hopeful, and from silence. Voices returned. Earth began to change again. Weapons stayed ready, but now sat in the shadows. Ships began to carry not just missiles, but messages. Black Station 1 opened a new chamber, not for war but for diplomacy. Oblivion 1 remained above the Earth. It was no longer just a warship. It became a watcher, a guardian, a symbol, not a fear, but of warning. We fight only when forced. We destroy only when attacked. But when we rise, we do not fall. In the end, Earth did not conquer the galaxy. It didn't have to. It simply stood alone, powerful, patient, prepared, and the stars remembered. One final message: they were warned. They attacked. Earth erased them, and Earth never had to speak twice.